By the Emperor's light, another warp breach! Purge the heretics for the Emperor! Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. So, last time, we had a little bit of a close call when we first landed on Footfall, but now we are doing our very best to loot this place before we go talk to the people in charge. And actually, before I get too stuck in, I just want to make sure that everybody has... Yeah, that's what I thought. I wanted to make sure we're all reloaded and ready to go. No, you don't need 2 health packs on you right now. Psyker's footwear. You don't currently have boots. I don't know if that'll help you, but... Whenever the wearer hits an enemy with a Deadeye shot, it reduces the enemy's deflection and adds 1 exploit. Ooh. Yeah, get rid of the auto-stimulant. If the wearer did not move during their turn or became immobilized, they gain... Ooh. That's actually really good for you. Sorry about this. Just need to go through and make sure everybody's fully equipped. Actually, how is this with me? It's better than the faux hammer. And then... Cabela, you aren't really using your secondary thing, so I'm gonna give you my gun. Alright, I think for now at least, that's as good as we're gonna get it. What's this? The sight of this cogitator would be enough to break any tech priest's heart. The machine is leaning slightly to one side, grimy, covered in scrawled drawings, with frivolous writing scratched here and there on the casing. Aww. Poor computer. Several keys are missing, and the rest are coated with dust. Oh, this poor mistreated little doodad. Yeah, that's what I thought. Pascal's respirator lets out a mournful hiss before he says grimly, "The right of operation has been repeatedly and blasphemously violated, requesting the identification and punishment of the deplorable acolyte entrusted with caring for the spirit of this machine." What's our chances? 100%. I like those odds. Try to repair the cogitator. Tech use succeeded. After a series of creaks and groans, the cogitator's dusty screen lights up. On it are several lines of text. Section headings. Okie doke. Praise the Omnissiah. The machine spirit of this cogitator is aggrieved, but willing to serve. Accompanied by the crackling of a binaric prayer, Pascal's mechadendrites gently place a couple of keys lying on the floor back into place. Let's start off with welcome, and then I actually want to know more about the guy who started this place before we find out any more about the actual place. The screen flickers a few times before revealing to the world a text of... Oh, just a bit of propaganda. To the world, a text in low Gothic. In the name of the founder of Footfall Station, conqueror of stars, builder of outposts, the noblest rogue trader, Parsimus Dwayne. And on behalf of all his descendants, I welcome you. This cogitator was installed on the order of the illustrious Parsimus so that the needy may tap into the flow of his wisdom. Cast your eyes upon the list of sections and choose what you wish to know. Abelard's brow furrows. Parsimus Dwayne? I've never heard of such a rogue trader house. I was going to say, it's von Valentius, Corda, and Winterscale, right? Lord Captain Parsimus Dwayne, one of the trailblazers of the Coronis Expanse and this station's founder. I've read about his great deeds. Lord Dwayne was once a colonel in the Astra Militarum, but by his will later inherited a warrant. He accumulated enough power to gather a small fleet of loyal allies and venture out to conquer the Coronis Expanse. They say Footfall was meant to be his personal palace world, but the construction dragged on for decades, and Lord Parsimus eventually died of old age. His enemies instantly tore Footfall to pieces and turned it into the bastion of humanity we know today, one that is full of bandits, privateers, hustlers, and rogue traders. Pleased with herself, Cassia nods slightly to let everyone know that the lecture is over. Well, thank you for the lore drop, Cassia. Like I said, I want to know more about Parsimus than I do about Footfall. The cogitator flickers and grunts before displaying a tapestry of text. The great Parsimus Dwayne intends to conquer the Coronis Expanse and build the most grandiose structure. Well, we already knew that. Which will shine through the ages, praising the names of its creator and his descendants. Footfall, the palace and the stars. The glory of the great Parsimus's deeds will live on throughout the ages, and his grand designs, the cogitator hisses and grunts as it tries to clean its insides by spewing out dust and detritus through its cracks. The cogitator hisses for a while, then the screen flickers and once more shows the words, "The great Parsimus Dwayne intends to conquer." Pascal's vox wheezes mournfully. The spirit of this machine is enraged and will perform its function no more. I will see to it that the profaners responsible for its maintenance are marked for servo penance. Aww. Poor computer. Alright, well, we have got to talk to this guy for a couple of reasons. So we might as well... Ooh, he's scanning. Yeah, we already got that. But yeah, not only is this the guy who broke up the fight earlier, but it is also... Oh, that's cool. If I hold tab, I can see all the things I can actually interact with. Well, let's steal from him. But we need to get this guy's... Oh my god, you have quite a bit of cargo. Yes, please. I keep interrupting myself. Argenta needs this guy's permission if we want her to stay in the party. And we very much need her along. Hieronymus Delorso. The man with a face so drawn it appears to be made of nothing but skin and bone fixes his unblinking bird-like eyes on you. The priest's simple black clothes have next to no adornments, and they do nothing to mask his unhealthy gauntness. In a cracked voice, he says, "The Emperor protects." Who are you? Oh, no. The Emperor protects, Reverend. But he protects only those who are pure of heart. Do you think yourself one of them? Be leery of this conviction of yours. Many who have risen to the pinnacle of faith have fallen from it into the embrace of pride, most degenerate. And you must be the young von Valentius. That name carries weight, and it is a burdensome one, for its reputation suggests that Theodora encumbered it with many a transgression. I wonder, Will you seek to shed them, or will you carry them onward, picking them along the way like ripe fruit and savoring their sweet poison? I have heard many exalt the deeds of your intellect and call your wisdom a gift from the Emperor himself. Oh, nice. Fools! Do they not know that the seeds of heresy sprout quickest in an enlightened mind? Understanding only erodes the will to act. Let's see. So, oh. Okay, so this is definitely a decision. I don't trust these as questions, so. Thank you, Cassia. 100%. Make the sign of the Holy Aquila. I put my faith in the Emperor. Persuasion test succeeded. He gives you a scrutinizing look, then his tone softens. Well then, be twice as diligent, for this sector will seize any chance to test your faith. 8 experience, but +4 to dogmatic. I'm gonna actually have to check on my alignment. He looks at Argenta, who is standing nearby, and his voice softens slightly. Greetings, sister. I congratulate you on your return. Was your pilgrimage fruitful? It was, Reverend. Let it be known to you that Theodora von Valentius's ship was attacked by servants of the archenemy, who appall the heart of any righteous soul, she says, nearly hissing with fury, and not all of them met a fitting end. Some fled, and more than that, their blasphemous words clearly pointed to this attack being part of a larger design. Reverend Hieronymus, I wish to join the esteemed rogue trader's crew and help protect the von Valentius dynasty from the forces of the archenemy. I am divesting myself of the responsibility of guarding the Footfall Reliquary. Normally I wouldn't poke my nose in, but I'm definitely going to back her up on this. Sister Argenta stood by my side during the assault on the ship, and I could use her assistance going forward. You know what? No. Actually, I'm not going to get involved. This is between her and him. So, I'ma say nothing. Hieronymus nods in thought. Follow the call of your soul, sister. The Footfall Reliquary will be preserved even without your contribution, as it was in all the years preceding your arrival. Hieronymus smiles sadly. I know what it is that calls you to follow the rogue trader. Sister Argenta, you seek combat, for it helps you to forget how hollow and worthless our lives truly are. It offers the illusion of meaning. Perhaps you will relinquish this illusion one day, or perhaps you will die before that day comes. Regardless, I wish you luck on your new path. But before you start on a path toward your new destiny, I have a request to make of you and your companion. Many among my flock are from the poorest, most exposed people on Footfall. They've brought me troubling news from Footfall's shadow quarters. In the darkest corners where the Legion's wardens do not venture, taint has taken root. Footfall is consumed by profanity, but even here, true heresy, serving the archenemy, is a rarity. The cultists who now dwell in the shadow quarters mark their abodes with a sun inscribed in blue and gold, and perform strange rituals in secret. The weak find solace in believing these reports to be rumors, but I will know that evil lurks all around us. I wish to see retribution. Eh? No, he's an old man. I'm not going to ask him to go do it himself. We will verify this rumor, Reverend Hieronymus. With great pleasure, Argenta lays a hand on her weapon. I almost wish for the rumor to be true. My heart yearns to battle some heretics. This is where I bid you goodbye, sister. Noble Lamedicus, is there more you wish to ask me about? What are you doing on Footfall? What am I doing in this den of blasphemers, pagans, and the vilest of souls, you mean to say? Well, Footfall is the first and last stop in the Coronis expanse. It is the point of arrival for those who have just started on their path, and it is also where those who are reaching its very end return. Their souls wounded and bleeding, I embrace both the former and the latter, so that they may cast an honest eye over their impurity. Furthermore, rumors from across the entire sector amass on Footfall. If I hear crewmen whispering about a reclaimed shrine world, or expressing desire to carry the Emperor's light into the darkness among the stars, I help my flock in their sacred duty. Devoted trailblazers need assistance from both spiritual and material. Tools, equipment, even garments and simple everyday items. Anything that might help pilgrims on their long journey and during the first days of the harsh frontier life is worth its weight in gold to us. May you help your offer to the effort of gathering such things be blessed. The path of true believers leads into darkness, to search for the worlds that have lost his radiance. Steeped in depravity, blessed are the deeds to those who give themselves into the void and the warp in hopes that their actions might bring light into the darker reaches of the expanse and deliver a previously barren world into the Imperium's service. Hieronymus is silent for a few seconds. And all the more bitter is the realization that not all brave souls will succeed in their mission. Footfall still awaits news from the Wasteland Wayfarer, an ancient ark of a ship headed for distant stars. Her last astropathic message was sent from beyond the Cineris Maleficum, and the stars have kept her fate secret since. Ooh, we got a quest. I bear another darker duty. The expanse is filled with the tainted creations of unholy heretics. Though these insidious objects are a danger to the soul, but I know what to do with them. Should you on your travels come upon dangerous, corrupted objects, bring them to me, and the reward for your vigilance will be even more generous. The Drusian mission has much to share with the rogue trader. You know what? I'll go ahead and take a look at what you got before I ask some more questions. I'd like to take a look at what the followers of St. Drusus have to offer me. Let me see. Yes, please. All of it. You have drugs? That's not very priestly of you. What does this do? Ooh. 15 to Lore Imperium isn't bad. Strike. 4 to 8. Devastating. The first use of an attacking navigator power per turn does not set the power on cooldown. and does not count toward the attack limit per turn. The second use of this power of a different attacking navigator power on the same turn deals... Oh my god. Thank you, Hieronymus. Cassia, we have something for you. Let's see. 8,000. Militan's Cloak. First melee attack in combat cannot be parried or dodged. Oh my god. Sanctified Staff. Two-handed melee weapon. I don't know if I can use that. And that's not bad. You know what? We'll hold off for now. But we will definitely be trading with you in the future. Let's see. I'm not going to do this one because this guy's whole thing is about being humble. The Emperor protects. I have a question about faith. My sermon planted the seed of faith in the heart of another rogue trader once. Incendia Corda. Perhaps you are destined to become my second fledgling. Tell me about Incendia Corda. Have you heard of Aspis Corda? Pirate, blasphemer, xenophile, and egregious? Apostate. Incendia is her heir. In rarity among rogue traders, the protection of the holy warrant typically leads to the swift atrophy of conscience and pious dread, but not in Incendia's case. She relentlessly hunts down pirates and fire bands and brings rebelling colonies to repentance, establishing strict discipline. The weight of her wrath is great indeed. The colonies she punishes are girded with the orbital rings of heretic corpses. As a warning to the survivors, as her personal confessor and guide, I find no end to the joy her triumphs in faith bring me. Ooh, another decision. Okay. Worthy of respect. Since when is orchestrating massacres a sign of virtue? Yeah, even the heretic one is happy with how she's killing dudes. Since when is orchestrating massacres a sign of virtue? They aren't massacres. This is a war on apostasy and treason. And in this war, Incendia Corda is inflicting grievous wounds upon the wicked. Yeah, let's start at the top and work our way down. Tell me more about the Emperor. You think it is so easy to put into words his essence and splendor? The Emperor is the perfect deity that reads our hearts and grants us his light. He led humanity out of the darkness and horror. He created our great home. He experienced torment and pain, which only made him stronger. That is a lesson to us all. Purity is not to be found at the bottom of the dirtiest hive or in golden palaces, but only among the ranks of those who suffer. Argenta silently makes the sign of the Aquila, her bright eyes burning with an unyielding flame. This priest speaks the truth as a wise spinner would. Ooh. Cabela uses her blade to reopen a recently healed ritual wound on her hand. As we accept the Undying One's blessings, so must we accept pain. It brings us closer to him. Hieronymus looks at Cabela calmly, without the fear that you have seen in many. He says quietly, "A spinner of the blood-spun web. People have mentioned your cult to me in their confessions. My mission does not approve of your barbaric ways, which too often cross the line, and yet we respect the depth of your devotion to him." What is the proper way to worship the Emperor? Pray to him, destroy his enemies, and touch not the poisoned gifts. Cast aside all doubt, and be vigilant against the weak souls beside you. When you see a sign of taint, burn it away without pity. Pain is good. It tears the crust of vileness from one's soul. And remember that if you see no fault in you or around you, then you are not being diligent enough in your search. Or you are being far too lenient on yourself, averting your eyes from the truth. The Emperor's servants. Who are they? You speak of the Adeptus Ministorum. Well, these heralds of his word hold great power. Every priest, myself included, is part of its hierarchy, and the ecclesiarchy possesses the unique right to judge what is virtuous and what is malign. The Adeptus Ministorum prays and cares for the temples. It sends missions such as my own to every corner of the dominion of humanity. It fights against heresies. Ooh. Though I do agree with the iconoclast in most cases when it comes to the ecclesiarchy, I'm not going to take it out on Dolorso. May the Emperor bless his faithful servants. You think that his mercy extends that far? I have seen many who wish to be our shepherds. Power clouds their vision, and their greedy hands scoop up all they can reach. The ecclesiarchy is long overdue for a cleansing. Oh, wow. Man, I probably should have gone with the other one. You should have been honest with the man. Many would consider your remarks about the ecclesiarchy to be heretical, and many others would find them truthful. I am a preacher of a radical teaching that renounces fear. I've left the bounds of the blessed Imperium to carry his light into the darkness of the frontier. I've come to know depravity firsthand, and am now able to perceive it under any guise. I think I can afford myself a modicum of truth. Yep, fantastic points all around, Dolorso. Who is the enemy of the Imperium? It has three faces. The inhuman Xenos, who wish death upon us simply because they are unlike us. The pitiful subhuman mutants, abominations that wish death upon us because they envy us and are ashamed of themselves. And the vile arch-enemy that reigns in the Immaterium, which wishes death upon us by its very nature. Thank you for your explanations. Think nothing of it, young Von Valencius. Tell me about yourself. Neither my past nor my present hold any secrets, but take heed when gazing into my heart, for many dark thoughts lurk within. What is troubling your heart? Bad omens. Dark times have come. Ships from the Immaterium barely appear in the Coronis expanse anymore. In Footfall's shadow quarters, taint thrives, and the people here are corrupt enough to succumb to it gladly. Rumors around the expanse say that the accursed Xenos have grown bold and are rearing their heads. They attack ships and settlements, walk under the suns of Imperium worlds like kings instead of cowering in the shadows. What next? The adversities await us if such disgrace is happening already. He shakes his head sternly. There's more and more talk of how things are going in the expanse. Some days it seems like I can't take 2 steps without hearing some peasant pontificating on the matter. Even if it is as dire as they say, the Von Valencius realm will not crumble under the blows of fate, no matter how devastating. Chin up, Lord Captain. This is no time to lose heart and lament your lot. Not only is your hope false, it is also dangerous among his servants. There have been people of great integrity who sullied themselves in their attempts to rise above the rest. Who were you in the past? A wretched fiend. Blinded by my ambitions, I served in my home planet's Adeptus Administratum division. I was a shrewd and sly bureaucrat, and I soared to great heights, to the very chair of prefect. Sorry, damn, I cannot read. In 30 years, I turned my home from a withered fringe colony into a prosperous world. Our wealth grew as we bloomed, but the bloom was a veneer for rot. Opulence had depraved us, and luxury had seduced us with its sordid promises. The planet's denizens no longer wished to pray or work. They only sought entertainment in dangerous philosophies, 1,000 vile heresies and 1,000,000 appalling voices, bred on my world like mold on a Nutribar. In those days, I saw my own eyes the shameless ugliness of the soul. I repented on my hubris, left the position of prefect, and became a traveling missionary. I have been one ever since. As for my world, 20 years later the Holy Inquisition consigned it to purifying flames. The Emperor is merciful for allowing you a chance at redemption. Yeah, no, definitely going with number 1. Who said I had redeemed myself? I doomed an entire planet to degeneracy. You think a decade or 2 of wandering with a mission is enough to atone for that? No, I am a poor excuse for a shepherd in his eyes. Your words about the past are drowned in murky hues of sickly green, and your talk of the present falls in gray flakes of ash upon the shoulders of your listeners. Sorrow truly weighs heavily on you, Reverend Hieronymus, and that is why the fire in your words is devoid of golden radiance. The faded flickers of teachings leave nothing but black soot on their souls. God damn, Cassia. I have no more questions. I am surprised you had any to begin with. Then I must take my leave. Thank you for the permission to keep Argenta with us. Now back to the looting. Now, want to check the map real fast. No more loot? Alright, up here we go. Hello? Ooh.
That's how it's done.
In this mishmash of devices and cables, you notice equipment from totally different eras. Some ancient, some merely old, and others hastily tossed together in more recent years. Anything to loot?
Is there money
Yeah,
to be made?
my thoughts exactly. A small food booth. The portions look meager. Ooh. Ooh. Get it, Abelard.
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
Thank you.
The machine gun grants me insight.
Thank you very much, Pascal. We definitely will be taking that. What's going on over here?
Hush not dawdle.
Oh, it's this part. The low hum of voices quiets, and a dozen gazes shift to you. The tall man, first mate Dagon. The tall man with the shaved head is rubbing his hands together nervously. His opulent clothes are nearly bursting at the seams on his muscular body, and his expression is forbiddingly grim. Still, he's trying to put on an air of friendliness. Greetings, you must be... He glances at the scroll in his mechanical hand implant. Master Fidellio? All the guests have arrived. You're the last on the list, and we couldn't, well, start without you. Your presence is absolutely vital. Now, this quest plays out entirely different if you showed up here with pomp and circumstances, where they already know who you are. But why not play along? Of course, I am Fidellio. He puts on a broad smile, but then catches himself and quickly frowns once more. Please, please. Yeah, we can talk later. Chaplain is about to begin. What is this tomfoolery? Abelard grumbles, but not before making sure that the man is out of earshot. Awareness 50. Thank you, Cassia. We are absolutely looking around. Awareness test succeeded. The gathering you found yourself at seems refined and respectable at first glance. The decorations and the attendees' clothes speak of wealth, and so does the location, which isn't far from the Liege's residence. But you notice that most of those gathered here are of rather imposing physique. Many of them have scars and military-grade implants. Several of the guests look like they are covering in the exit. A few are clearly carrying concealed weapons. Your appearance has definitely attracted everyone's attention. Just about every guest here keeps glancing at you, and some are clearly watching your every move, even though they are trying not to show it. I wonder who this Fidellio is, and why they cannot start proceedings until he or she appears. Judging by the way that fellow with the list was talking about this individual, it's someone very important, but it's not a name I've heard before. I have never heard the name before either. Well, let's see what's going on. Join the attendees. Oh, what a terrible, sorrowful day. We pay our respects to the life and soul of Footfall Society, a loyal servant of the Imperium, a generous benefactor who spared no expense to keep the fire of faith burning, and an example to all future generations, the most noble and unforgettable Master Bellardo. This loss. The fussy administratum clerk speaks in a strained voice and keeps peeking at a paper with text on it. His speech drags on, blending into a monotonous cascade of praises of the late Master Bellardo. So let us offer a prayer to the Emperor for the repose of Master Bellardo, his soul, and the prosperity of his heirs. I now pass you over to our most revered chaplain. Oh God, I really cannot read. A formidable-looking man dressed in the attire of an ecclesiarchy missionary glares at the gathered crowd. And here you all are, you vultures. Let's offer a prayer then. But if you think that the Emperor, or the messenger of his will, in other words myself, does not see into your vile souls, you are sorely mistaken. Chaplain looks at you and gives a slight nod. I wasn't referring to you, Master Fidellio. At least Dens himself wanted to see him at his funeral. But the rest? I know every one of you, and I would be astonished to discover anyone here who truly mourns his loss. So go ahead, pray for Bellardo's soul. Soon the flames will take him, a fitting end for a life like his. May the Emperor keep his soul. Without another word, Chaplain makes the sign of the Aquila and pointedly turns away from the attendees. God damn. Well, we may as well look around, try and figure out what's going on. What's this?
My house would be proud of me.
There's an odd smell to this omasec. It seems very likely that the drink has been poisoned. Well, that's not good. But, like I was saying when we first walked in here, I really, really enjoy this quest. I'm gonna try not to spoil too much, but it would seem we have a bit of a murder mystery afoot. Let's go up to the body real quick. Whoever prepared the body of the gray-haired man lying in the coffin, they did a good job. Even in death, he looks majestic. Abelard maintains a grave expression befitting the occasion. Until he sees the face of the deceased, he frowns. He peers at it with suspicion. Then he gasps, astonished, almost dazed. Oh, B! This is quite the meeting. If it can be called such under the circumstances. 90%. Let's do it. Yes! Test succeeded. The implants left in the deceased body speak of his high standing. Expensive tech is typically extracted from the dead, and only the most prominent and wealthy avoid this fate upon their death. Abelard, you know this man? Do I? I would tell you all about this man, but the words I'd use would be improper for a funeral. This, your lordship, is Jerry Can Dens, known back in the day as one of the most notorious pirates in the Coronis Expanse. They named him Jerry Can for his bad habit of having a jug or two of promethium on hand. He did love burning things. Oh yes, he was a menace back then. How long ago was it? 60 years ago? I was serving my last days in the Navy when news came of his latest attack. Abelard distractedly runs a hand through his hair. Yours or the corpse's? I'm hoping yours. Well, well. There was a time when the sight of Jerry Can in a coffin would have been enough to make me dance. Quite literally. By the throne, I would have danced a jig on the spot, but now, I don't know. No more jumping into the warp right from under the cruiser's nose, eh, you old beast? Who would have thought I'd be at your funeral? This is a very grand and for a pirate's funeral. Is this normal on Footfall? Folks on Footfall are known to turn a blind eye to many things, but even the locals aren't so unscrupulous as to honor pirate scum a few paces away from the Liege's residence. But no one has heard of Dens for so many decades. I barely recognized him myself, and I've seen this face on pics a fair few times back then. I assume he retired and started a more or less honest life under a new name. What was it they were calling him? Master Bellardo. Now I remember. Reverend Hieronymus mentioned the name Master Bellardo as one of the biggest donors to the temple. Alright, well, let's go talk to some of the attendees then. So we got Dagon right there. We've got the chaplain. Anybody else with a name? Well, I guess we're starting with... Ooh, okay. Got quite a few people to talk to. Hello, sir. The tall man who welcomed you at the entrance is shifting from foot to foot and keeps glancing around with a gloomy expression. He nods to you sympathetically. Master Fidellio. You never introduced yourself. I'm Dagon Othio. I was first mate on Denz's ship. I mean, Master Bellardo's ship. Given the deceased's former occupation, I have a good idea what role you played under his command. Dagon smirks. They used to call me Torch. He's Jerry Can, I'm Torch. Those were the days. How did Bellardo die? Badly. He went downhill real fast just a year ago. He was living it up, storming the slum asteroids to shoot riffraff and mutants, and then all of a sudden, he was done. His old wounds had caught up with him, and he had plenty of those, both from the old days and more recent ones. Like when somebody tried to bump him off 12 years back, I think it was. I must take my leave. I still have questions, but we'll leave you to it for now. Cass Bellardo. A man of indeterminate age turns to you and sighs loudly. You can tell by his breath that he came to the ceremony after indulging in 1 or 2 glasses of a strong drink. Master Fidellio, I've heard so much about you. And here you are, at last, in the flesh. We haven't been introduced. Pardon me, my name is Cass Bellardo. I have the honor of being the only child of the deceased. He sends a mocking salute in the direction of the coffin. You don't seem particularly grief-stricken over your father's death. If I was one lying in the box, he wouldn't be crying his eyes out either. Cass bites out with sudden acidity. He takes a moment to calm himself. A son's feelings are complicated. I wasn't a good son. Old Dens wasn't a good father. But I do miss him in my own way. Yes. He always seemed timeless to me. Not just a bag of meat and ugly ambitions, like the rest of us are. What did Bellardo die of? Age, debauchery, old wounds. By the end, my old dad was more implant than man, especially after that assassination attempt. people tried to kill him. You see, about 12 years ago? And what is it that you've heard about me? He forces a smile. That you were very close with... Forget it. Forget it. I didn't mean anything by it. Just make a conversation. Oh, you enjoy your drink, buddy. We have other people to talk to. Anybody over here? Hiding in the nooks and crannies? Any names? More importantly, any loot? Yes. Nothing more I like doing at a funeral than looting the place. Shredder shotgun. Ooh. My armor penetration is better, but that is definitely going in somebody's hands. We'll take this. So let's see, we've talked to the drunken son and the dishonorable first mate. Who else? Ooh, piece of candy. Oh God! It looks like a deliberately set trap meant to collapse a part of the building? Someone's trying to kill me. How do they know that I was a loot goblin? Well, poison drink? Explosive loot? At least these guys did their homework. I really got to be a little bit more careful. Hello, Chaplain. Up close, Chaplin leaves an even stronger impression. A tall, burly man whose face and hands bear numerous scars. His entire visage seems to tell the story of many heretics who met their end upon their encounter with this adept of truth faith. Chaplin gives you a friendly nod, but his gaze is intense, like he's trying to get a sense of who you are. Pleasure to meet you, Master Fidellio. I prefer to go by Chaplain. It is both my name and my occupation. You know, it's funny how, despite being Denz's, that is to say, Master Bellardo's closest associate and confessor, I've never heard of you. The man he chose to be his sole heir. I'm glad, of course, that the inheritance didn't go to any of the others, but the vultures. But I'm still curious. Why you? We are especially close. Persuasion test succeeded. Unsurprisingly, Denz did like remarkable people, and he knew how to get people to like him. Given your speech during the ceremony, I take it you're not fond of the other attendees. I'm a missionary of St. Drusus, and the truth of the Imperium speaks through me. So I see no point in pretense. All who have gathered here have one goal: to bite a chunk out of Denz's estate. Ambition and aspirations of wealth are not immoral in and of themselves, but it's just that I'm sickened by the thought that such a great man has left nothing behind but a pile of human refuse. His son is a drunk and a weakling. His friend, Dagon, the only one who greeted you at the entrance, is a dim-witted brute with an incredibly bloated ego. His widow made off on the family yacht in the direction of the mall while his body was still warm, with an entourage of 5 brawny, good-looking young fellows. Chaplain peers at you once more. I'd like to believe that he didn't choose you as his heir on a whim, Master Fidellio. At least you had the guts to come here, into a nest of vipers who despise you because Denz's money and property slipped through their fingers. I respect that kind of audacity, and so did he. A question, if I may. How was it that an ecclesiarchy missionary came to be a friend and associate of a famous pirate? The chaplain chuckles. The scars on his face grow even more prominent. Do you know why they call me chaplain? It's because I was the priest on Denz's ship in his wilder days. If you're surprised, you shouldn't be. There are plenty of heretic scum among the pirates of the Expanse, but Denz wasn't one of them. He was a true believer, and he shared more of the Imperium's ideals than some of those stiff-necked officers. A leader with an iron fist and an iron will. Don't we owe our conquest of thousands of star systems to people like that? And the ones he robbed were mostly types that no true subject of the Imperium would shed a tear over. Xenos, heretics. Not all of them, of course, but the Emperor will judge if Denz was a decent man. Yeah, let's go with 3 first. You just can't wait, can you? Chaplain scoffs. After the funeral, Denz will be delivered into the flames. Then we will announce his last will and testament, and you will officially come into your inheritance. I have a strong suspicion that someone here wants me dead. You don't say. How can this be? Someone wants the sole heir of a tremendous fortune dead in the place where the other contenders deprived of these riches have gathered? If you, Master Fidellio, really are worthy of Denz's name, you will deal with these minor vicissitudes. Consider this my blessing. The Emperor protects anyone who deserves it, that is. Thank you for speaking with me. I gotta get out of here. Alright. There are a few more people to talk to, but unfortunately, it is going to have to wait for next time. But for now, before I leave, I want to give you... Goddamn. That's good. But you actually have stuff you can use now. And you know what? Take a better shotgun. Alright. Well, like I was saying, unfortunately, it is about that time of the hour. So we are going to have to leave it here for today. But I want to thank each and every one of you for coming along with me. I hope you all have had a wonderful day. And until I see you next time, have fun and stay safe out there.